about expressions. Now we're going to start talking about equations. Okay, it's just the introduction today, understanding equations. And there is a one IXL, so we're going to do half of them together, and I'll ask to finish up later. And this week it's a star test week, so it's for October, and will be by Friday. Okay. And today's objective is I can build an algebraic expression using the context of a word problem and use that expression to write an equation that can be used to solve the word problem. Okay, so new essential question is, how can you use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, all these four operations, to solve equation? Okay, so let's move on. So we're going to start with this word problem about understanding equations. So this paragraph tells basically, so let's say your brother is going to college and you want to take the room by yourself. And in your room, you have a wall like this, the big rectangle. And the width of that wall is 14 feet wider. And on that wall, you want to install like two, what was that, posters, like a equal size. The width of those each posters is 4 feet, but you want to do it very specifically, like very I would say like beautifully centric. Like when I say that, so between these distances, like edge of the wall, edge of the poster, and this distance, and distance between two posters, and the distance on the right side, all of them you want to make them equally distanced. Okay, so how you're going to do that? How, maybe one way is measuring, but measuring may not be always helpful in this case. Okay, so if we use our common sense about like measurement, let's say the length of this, the width of this wall, it's 14 feet, right? So I have a 14 feet, and the width of each posters, it's 4 feet. But these distances are unknown. We know that unknown things are always labeled with variable. I'm going to label all of them with X because all of them are equally distanced. This is what we want. Okay, let's figure out how many feet it has to be between these the posters. Okay, so because of like if you see the total distance in this case, it's 14 feet. If you add all of them together, for example, X plus, this is 4 feet, right? Plus X plus another 4 feet, and plus X, all of them together, it's equal 14. So that means, so because if you have X, X, and X, you have 3 X's, right? 3 times X. And if you add 4 and 4, which is 8, that would become equal to 14 because we're trying to make it equal to like total number. So that's a 14. So we know the fact that if we cut out here like this, and like this, and like this. So if we cut out these sections, which is like 4 feet and 4 feet from out of 14. So what happens like 14 minus 4 minus 4? So you need to subtract twice these 4s from 14. So that would become, if you subtract these sections, only the length of these little segments or equal segments, it becomes 4 minus 8, 14 minus, together 8 will be, that would become, your 3 x's will become equal 6, okay? And so 3 times what is 6? And we know the fact that it's 3 times 2 is 6. So that means your x will be equal to 2 feet, okay? So this is the kind of problems that we need to use, like you can encounter in your everyday life, okay? So the measurement of these distances has to be 2 feet. So if you say this is 2, this is 4, this is 2, this is 4, and this is 2, all together, when you add up, it's going to be equal to length of the width of the wall, okay? So this is the one way about understanding equation. And let's see what we have on the next example. So the next example, it's about tape diagram. If you guys remember tape diagram, it's kind of like a cutting the tape like this, right? It's a piece of tape. You cut it on the left and right side. So we're going to use tape diagram when we solve equations. Okay. So if let's take a look on this example. It says the ages of 3 sisters, so that means we need 3 tapes, are consecutive integers. Consecutive means the ages are going by up, like by 1 age. For example, if my age is 20, my big brother's age will be 21, and another big brother's will be 22. So ages are going up by 1. So this means like consecutive integers. The sum of their ages, it's 45. So that's very important. So at the end, we're going to say equal to 45. That's why we need 45. Calculate their ages and use a tape diagram. So I have one tape, and let me get another one. Okay. So, but let's say we don't know the first sister's age, right? So we're going to say it's an X because we don't know it. If we don't know something, we always label with variable. It's X. And next sister's age, it cannot be X because these are the equal tapes, and it's not equal because ages are going by consecutive integers, which is by 1, adding up by 1. So the next sister's age will be add 1 year. So let's say this is a 1 year, and the next sister's age will be adding another 1 to the previous sister. So look at this. Hold on, I'm going to label them all. It's not a perfectly equal squares, but I'm trying to make it as close as I can. Okay, so first sister's age X, second sister's age is X plus 1, because adding up by 1, and the third sister's age is adding plus 1 and plus 1. Okay, so our problem says the sum of their ages is 45. All of them together, it's equal 45. So now we need to figure out what is their ages. So that means we need to figure out what is X is equal to. Okay, so if you add up, if you can see, like there are 1x, 2x, 3x, so you have totally 3 x's, right? And you have 1 age, 2, 3, so there is a 3 years, so it's a plus 3, and that's equal 45. Okay, so we know that if I cross out these ages one by one, I need to add those ages on the other side, because I'm trying to list on this side. I need to, I apologize. I need to take away from other side too. Okay, so if I cross out each one of them, let me not do this way because you may get confused. So this becomes 45 becomes 44, 43, 42, right? So 3 x's will be equal 42. Okay. And now 3 times what is 42? So you need to think about, there is a multiplication between variable and number. 3 times what is 42? And I will give the answer, but if you can use a calculator to figure out. 42 divided by 3, if you go backward, so that will be, what was that? 14. Okay, so 3 times 14 is 42. And yes, you got it. Somebody gave me the answer. So the first sister's age is 14, second sister's age is 15, and last sister's age is 16. If you add them all, it's going to give you 45. Okay. Wow, you guys know this. Like, you did this before me. Oops, I apologize for a quick break. So, and the next similar example is, let's say your parents are redecorating a dining room and want to place 2 rectangular sconce lights. So the sconce lights are, here's the examples, okay? So it's installed on the wall. It looks like a rectangular again. It gives you a very beautiful pattern on the wall, as you can see in the examples. So, and that are 25 inches wide along a 10 and 2/3 foot wall, so that the distance between the lights and the distance from each light to the nearest edge of the wall are the same. So it's the same kind of problem. The width of those lights are 25 inches. The width of the wall, it's a 10 and 2/3 feet. So in our life, nothing is perfect. So sometimes the wall can be like not integer number, like a fraction too, okay? So now I'm gonna open up my chat box. So let's see, 4 feet and 2 inches. Okay, that is for these lights, right? Yes. Can we do on the opposite way? Can we do like work on what it says? Let me see. The nearest edge of the wall are the same. So can we use as a unit like just the feet, just the inches? What happens if you convert 10 to 3rd to the inches? What time is it? 11, okay. Yes, it's 128 inches. Thank you so much. That's equal 128 inches. Now we can work on this one without worrying about the units. So you want to make these distances x equal, right? Wow, you got the answer. But I need to go slowly to explain others. So 3x's are equal to what? Because of the frames are 25 inches, together it's a 50 inch, right? And you need to take away that 50 inch from 128. That would become 78, as you did. Yep. So now the last thing is 3 times what is 78? So you said if you divide 78 by 3, I can get the answer. Yes, you're right. That would become, it's a 26. Thank you. Hybrid students, oh, how 26? It's because these are 25 inches, right? 25 inches. You need to take away those measurements together from total distance. This is the total distance. So then you can find out the total of these 3 x's. So that's why I subtracted 25, and 25 is 50 from 128. I subtracted 50 and I got it 78. So 78 is equal to 3 x's. We're going to do more examples similar on this one, okay? Okay, let's move on. And let me show you one more example that you may see in your benchmark. Maybe I'll ask the same thing. Let's think about. In this example, you have a curtain. Let's say the length of the curtain is the length of this line, okay? And so this is the beginning, this is ending of the curtain. The fabric, I apologize. The length of that fabric is totally equal to 84.5. It's a decimal number. And then it says she makes 6 identical curtains. So that means, but we don't know those like each curtains, the measurement of those each curtains. So that will be just X. Let me cut it like this is the first curtain and they're identical. So that's why it has to be equal. Second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and this is the sixth one, okay? And has 17.7 yards of fabric remaining. Remaining means the length of this side. That is 19.7. Okay, it says how many yards of fabric does Jennifer use per curtain? So per curtain means what is the value for these? Let me use the different color. What is the length of one of these curtain? It says per curtain, because all of them are equal. We need to find out X is equal. Wow, somebody got it. And 2 students got it. Yes. So I think this is how you did. Let me explain other students. If you subtract this part, like 17.19, we know the length of these all X's, right? So let's do like minus 19.7, and I'm gonna copy and paste your answers. It says 64.8 because I don't have a calculator right now. So 64.8 is the length of those all x's. So 64.8, and the total of those x's, which is 6 x's, is equal 64.8. Okay. And if you divide that 64.8 with 6, you're going to get the length of the per curtain. Okay, so divide by 6. I apologize, my handwriting is getting so bad. Okay, so that will be equal to 10.8. Thank you so much. I have 4 students answered. Okay, so today's lesson is actually creating equations using this model. Either you call this a tape diagram or tails or this kind of lines. And on today's assignment on IXL, let me clear out this. So it's a S4 and it's a UDO part, is actually using those models to come up with an equation. Look at this. The total length of that line is 14. If you add R and 4, that's equal 14. So you need to write it down, those equation. Okay. Here we go. And sometimes you need to solve it when you go in a higher level. So the first couple examples, I think, is just creating an equation. So the length of this segment is U, and plus 3, that's a equal total of this line, which is 19. So you need to try to finish up at least 70 as a score. Okay. Yes, you can go. If you understand today's lesson, you guys can go. You don't have to stay.